The next 12 to 18 months could change your life. I've always thought of 2024 as a trial run and 2025 as the year where we can make obscene money. But look, I know exactly how you're feeling right now with your altcoin portfolio. I've been through all of this before, so that's why in today's video, I'm going to give you the answers to the most important questions in crypto right now. From whether we've topped this cycle and if our portfolios are going to go down another minus 50%, to what I'm doing with my own portfolio, I'm going to tell you everything, so be sure to watch to the end. But before we start, please remember that nothing in this video is financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. The first major question is, have we topped for this cycle? And should we keep holding on to our altcoins and accumulating more? It sounds silly, but as rational investors, we always have to look at all the possibilities. And there's only really two things we need to quickly check to see if it's likely we've topped for this cycle. The first is valuations with the indexes, and the second is sentiment. If we take a look at the others index, last cycle it gave an 86x from the bottom. This cycle so far up to here, it's given a 4.5x. I've always said the gains from this cycle will be diminished, but not to this extent. For the altcoin index to have topped without even breaking the all-time high of last cycle seems very unlikely, mainly because that's never happened before, and anytime you hear people say this time is different, just assume it isn't, because it never usually is. The second confluence factor is we're sitting right at weekly trend support and we haven't lost it. Remember, the higher the time frame, the more powerful the support, but it takes a longer time to play out. If you even take a look at last cycle, we grinded at this support for quite a while after the Bitcoin halving. The second thing we need to evaluate is sentiment. This is more important because at the end of the day, all we're doing is playing against other humans. So observing how they position their portfolio and their emotions is the highest grade of alpha we can get. Sentiment right now is bad. If you take a look at big YouTubers' comments, a lot of the comments are really negative. Take, for example, House of Crypto's video uploaded recently. A lot of the comments are really negative. If you compare the comments on a video like this compared to one in March, it's night and day. He even talks about how when he posts bullish sentiment, he gets hate for it. So that tells me that people have been selling the bottoms and they need the price to go lower so they can buy. Don't listen to random people's opinions on the market. Trust yourself. Everyone's opinion on the market is purely reflected by what's in their portfolio. If they have a lot of stable coins, they're going to be bearish. If they're all in, they're going to be bullish. If you look at Google Trends, which is a good indicator for retail, you can see how interest is almost at bear market zones for altcoins. I've even had other YouTubers tell me how their views are down a lot. But most importantly, think about how you feel yourself. I'm guessing you looked at your portfolio in April and at the start of May and it physically hurt. Well, that means everyone else in the market is feeling the exact same way. The difference is they're probably selling the bottoms. In my opinion, the most powerful indicator is going to be the global sentiment of everyday normal people. Think about how many people you know in real life who are jumping back into crypto and getting excited. For me, it was nothing compared to 2021 levels. And what I've just said is so important that I'm going to repeat it. The cycle top will come when regular people you know in real life start making money and getting excited about crypto. So as rational investors, there's four main scenarios here, and we have to assign probabilities to these based on everything I've just discussed regarding social sentiment and valuations. The first scenario is the cycle top is not in and we're just going to reverse really fast from here. The second scenario is the cycle top is not in and we're just going to grind and chop around this level for quite a while. The third scenario is the cycle has actually topped, but it's going to give a nice complacency bounce and rally from the weekly trend. And the last scenario is the cycle has actually topped, the weekly trend will be lost very soon, and we're all going to die. Don't be scared by these numbers over here. The main thing I'm trying to help you realize is that holding your altcoins and buying on this trend and on the recent dips that we had was actually a very smart move. Because the way I see it is, if you add up these probabilities, there's essentially a 97.5% chance of prices going higher on some time frame. Of course, you can disagree with these probabilities, but this is my perspective on the market based on my past cycle experience and what I'm seeing right now. I think if you manage to hold on to your coins and maybe add to your positions without selling, especially at this low, you probably have what it takes to make it this cycle, because that's the type of emotional strength you need to succeed in crypto. Now, when you begin to adopt this kind of thinking, you realize, wait, why was I scared again? And you begin to realize that holding and buying on this trend was actually a really smart move. I'm going to touch upon this really briefly because I think it will give people some peace of mind. How much lower will altcoins go? A lot of altcoins in this market went down minus 60%, like Tau, Injective, Tia, Aero. Now, I might get a lot of hate for saying this, but I think the downside is really limited now. I could be wrong, and the reason I could be wrong is downside and upside is reflexive in crypto because of people's emotions. People sell as price goes lower, making prices go even lower, making more people sell. But the same goes for the upside as well. All it's going to take is some green candles and altcoins to ignite FOMO back into the market and continue momentum upwards. But you always have to remember, the more the prices crash, the less likely they are to keep crashing further. That's why when prices go down, you're supposed to become less bearish, but that's not how our minds are programmed to think, and our brain's default setting is just stop the pain, and that's why retail always sells the bottom. But just so it's completely clear for this video, my view and outlook on the market is scenario 2. I think we chop and grind around these levels for quite some time. So if you do have stables left, it's not like you missed your last chance to get in and everything is going to full send. I also think quality altcoins will be an easy hold throughout this choppy period. Those that have good tokenomics and holder bases, and weak altcoins with lots of supply coming onto the market will continue bleeding and have a really weak recovery. Or if it's really bad, they'll have a bear market of their own. If you're wondering what those coins are, I'll get to that in just a minute. And I'll also explain to you what I meant by the title of this video where I said the next 12 months could change your life. But before that, I'm going to analyze and give an update on past portfolios I've recommended and my own coins. Unlike other YouTubers, I won't hide when the prices are down or just straight up never mention them again. I think it's very disingenuous. I said in this video 6 weeks ago, the conditions have changed, and over the coming weeks and months, a lot of people will get shaken out of crypto, and I'm already being proven right. Since you're watching this video, you're not one of those people. But in this video, I said I've taken some profits into stables and I'm being very careful with how I spend them. I was going to make a video on April 13th telling you I was going to use up all my stables, but I figured it was just quicker to tweet and write in the Discord. Anyways, because of those two moves, my portfolio is down around 15 to 20% from its 2024 high. If you're down more than this, or you've recently joined crypto and lost real money and not just unrealized profits, then keep watching. But as for the specific altcoins, I'll go through them now. In this video, which is the only dedicated portfolio video I've made, I said Beam was a good buy, and now I've seen a lot of people becoming bearish on the gaming narrative, and I get why you think that. The sector has been underperforming since December, and it seems like there's going to be no catalyst to pump it. I'm of the view that gaming will make a return at some point because it's an easy concept for retail to grasp. It's still a sector that's gaining a lot of funding if you take a look at crypto fundraising. I consider Beam to be one of those stronger coins where even if the narrative of gaming isn't hot, it can still pump and do really well. Second, we've got Ondo. This has been a 5 to 7x based on if you followed me in the Discord or from that video. Someone recently asked me this question, and I think a lot of you will be wondering the same. I'm still holding this for now. The only concern I have is the unlocks at the end of the year. When I dump my bag, I'll let you know, but I don't think taking your initials out at this stage is a bad idea. Third, we've got Akash, performing well and holding strong technically. I predicted 10 billion for this in the bull run. I believe it can get there. And overall, this has been a really good portfolio to hold, and you've beaten almost the entire market by holding this. I look forward to making a new version of this video again with new coins and a dedicated update channel for it in the Discord, but more of that in a future video. CAS is another one in my portfolio. I think it's doing fine. It's down 30%, which is normal. I've always thought of CAS as something that will pump at the end of the cycle because it needs mass retail to pump it. Other coins I hold, mainly Injective and Tia, these coins are the ones that have been dragging my portfolio down more. But if you actually look at Tia, it's down the same as many other popular coins in the market like Aero and Tau. The only concern I have is I made this video a long time ago, and now we're actually getting close to November, which is where those big unlocks come. Whilst I think Tia can do well again, I'd rather not hold through all of this. But on the other hand, I think selling Tia now to chase pumps is generally a bad idea, especially with the sentiment being so bad, and if there's any upcoming airdrop seasons, it's going to make the price pump. The only thing I would ask is, or if you hold another coin that's down 50-60%, do you still have conviction in it? Because if you don't, you can spread that bag into other coins that you already hold that you have conviction in. When I find something that's fundamentally better than tier as a whole in a portfolio, I'm 100% going to let you know. Don't think I'm just going to leave you hanging. Every crypto YouTuber has underperformers and performers, but how they react to it shows you the type of person they are, in my opinion. Following on from that, this is the section of the video where I really need to speak to you on a personal level. I made this poll on X, and to be honest, the results really surprised me. I didn't think 75% of people had most of their money in. So if you have any meaningful percentage of your net worth or money in crypto, then listen carefully. Here's what I don't know. I don't know how low the altcoins can go, and I don't know how long the chop can last. But what I do know is everything is dependent upon the liquidity cycle. That's the most important thing. I also know that Bitcoin dominance will eventually nuke at some point, just like it did in December, and we got some huge gains really fast. And that's something that people have been forgotten because they've been conditioned for Bitcoin dominance to just keep going up and up and up for ages, that they've forgotten what it feels like to get a period in the market where Bitcoin dominance really tanks, because that's when those huge gains come really fast. Thirdly, if we're following the 4-year cycle, which I believe we still are, by the way, then that means we're in 2020 right now. And I know that holding 2020 coins in 2021 was a huge mistake. The first two here should excite you a lot. That's why I think going forward, you should increase your time and effort in terms of your own research into crypto, because it's going to pay off big. That's why I think in a year, the 30 to 40% dips in your portfolio, you won't even remember. Another way to think of crypto right now is if you put in a year's salary and you hit a 10x, you can retire 10 years early. And that's really how serious this business is and the scale of the opportunity you have. But the third one should scare you. Let me explain why. This is a quick chart of all the different narratives and seasons we've had in this bull run so far. Every time Bitcoin crashed, the narrative reset and completely changed on the next rally most of the time. I know some people who are still holding coins from 2023 narratives and they're down minus 80% from that period. Can you imagine the pain of missing an entire bull market? And not only that, you have to watch your portfolio bleed constantly while that happens. In past bull runs, that would not happen, and it just goes to show you how hard and tricky this cycle actually is. Take a look at some of the low cap gems that influencers called during this bull run on YouTube, and look at the charts. They're down like 80%. Some narratives like the BRC21, which isn't even that old, completely retraced all of its gains. So if your portfolio is down minus 30%, 40%, even 50%, I would not stress too much. Enjoy your summer, be patient, stop checking your portfolio every 5 minutes. If you hold a lot of stable coins, just relax. I don't think this market is going to blast off anytime soon, although I'm happy to be proven wrong. But what I'm really asking you to do now is reconsider everything you hold, reevaluate, because that's what I'm going to be doing now going forward. And that's the next focus of my channel now. I think this is a massive window of opportunity before the real thing comes. If you're wondering what the real thing is, it's basically this. It's all season. So here's the plan for the next 12 months that we're going to execute together. 1, we're going to look at getting a new refreshed portfolio and getting into new quality positions. Every week, we're going to keep track of the market to give us an indication of when it's time to consider taking profit. I'm going to do my best to give you quality information on what altcoins are likely to be poor holes going forward and what altcoins and narratives are going to be good performers going forward. And I hope you realize by now, with my lack of uploads, I'm not interested in trying to farm you for views and clicks. I truly want us all to win together. So this channel's only focus for the next 12 months is really simple. Buy and hold good coins and sell them at the right time. Because something I've realized myself is each altcoin will have its own mini bull and bear market, and you need to be aware of that and keep track of that. This cycle is proving to be more difficult. I don't expect that to change. So make sure you stick with the right people, and thank you for watching.